Hey, this is Brandon Podgorski. I'm the director of the Center for Sports Studies. And I'm really excited to answer this week's question. As a sport management professor, this is my favorite question to answer. And a student asked, what do I need to do to break into sport? And specifically now that I'm a college student and I'm doing the minimum required to get a degree, what more do I need to be doing to breaking into sport? And there's three things that I'm going to share with you that you need to do today. Two of them I've talked about for a long time, and then one that I really just kind of learned this year through Brian Clapp, who helps run workinsports.com. Workinsports.com, it's an awesome resource. If you get an opportunity, check it out. But that's the first thing that I'm going to start with, is what Brian shared, is that you need to find a job that fits your strengths. So, working in sport, it's not just working in pro sport. It's not just working in college sport. There are tons and tons of opportunities out there. Obviously the pros in colleges are a couple of different ways to go, but there are hundreds and hundreds of opportunities in minor league sport. There's hundreds of opportunity in amateur sport, youth sport, cities and other municipalities. So don't just limit yourself, but we've got to find, where's your niche? Where are you going to fit the best? So think about your strengths and weaknesses. Are you outgoing? Do you like talking with people? Do you enjoy giving presentations? Are you not afraid to talk on the phone? Well, then maybe think about sales. It's one of the easiest ways to get started into sport. Does the thought of talking with somebody or being on the phone just sound awful? But do you like working events? Do you like kind of coming up with an idea, building it up, executing it, and then moving on to the next thing? Well, then maybe you start to think about event management or facility management. Do you like working with digital? Do you like doing social media or videos, infographics? Are you good with the Adobe platform? If that's the case, maybe you think in marketing. And what you're going to find when you're looking at jobs in sport is that there's two categories. So on one side, we got the player side, right? Where we're coaches, we're scouts, we're GM, we're working in player development. That's only about 15% of the jobs. It's where everybody wants to be, right? We all want to be the GM of our favorite team. But there's only about 15% of jobs there. On the other side, on that business side, we're about 85% of the jobs. It's on that revenue side. It's in sales and facility management, event management, and marketing, accounting, finance, operations, game day operations, box office, food and beverage. That's where the majority of the jobs are. So if you're like dead set on being a GM, it doesn't mean don't go for it, but just know we probably need a backup plan. So what I would do if I were a freshman, and I wish I would have known this, a long time ago, back when I was in undergrad, but go on to teamworkonline.com or go on to the NCAA marketplace, Bluefish Jobs, go on to all these sport job boards, workinsports.com, and find 10 or 15 jobs that you think you would be interested in. Now, obviously, you're not ready to get into those jobs right now, but what about 10 or 15 jobs when you graduate as a senior in college, or even down the line? What's like your 10 or 15 dream jobs that somebody's sitting in right now? And start looking at the job requirements. Like, usually a degree is the minimum thing that you need. They're going to want so many years of work experience. Maybe they're going to want some type of certifications. Maybe they're going to want some type of programming experience, especially if you're going to get an analytics. So whatever it is, start looking at what it is that they're hiring for and get those skills now. So I just mentioned analytics, huge field, booming like crazy, almost at 40% year over year job growth in that field. If you want to work in analytics, specifically sport analytics, it doesn't really matter if you just love sport and you're a sport management major, unfortunately. That's not enough. You got to understand statistics and other mathematical equations. You've got to understand Python, Tableau, all these different things that give you that opportunity to work in sport, but might not necessarily be a sport management or sport marketing degree or sport broadcasting degree. So match your strengths with the job that you think you want, right? And go find those jobs and start making a plan to get your education and certification and experience necessary to land it when you graduate. So that's the first thing you need to do. Second thing you need to do, and these two pieces of advice I've talked about for a long time, and they are tried and true. One, you have got to network while you're in college. Right? One of the best quotes I heard about working in sport, and I heard in the late 90s when I was a freshman down at IU from one of my professors, is it's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you and who likes you. So take the time to network. Networking is an extremely powerful tool. So this could just be informational interviews, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, following people on social media, picking up the phone and giving somebody a call, sending out emails. Start to build up your cachet of contacts. You know, even if you're in high school, go ahead and start that. And through that, you know, not only do you start to make some networks and some connection and starting to get people to like you, but then you can start to figure out, is this really the job I want? I thought I wanted to be a sports broadcaster when I was a freshman in undergrad, but as I started doing a lot of job shadowing and some informational interviews, I found out, well, maybe that's not the way I'm going to go. I want to go a different path because, you know, I just don't really like the career outlook. And that's fine, you know, and that's in college is the time to learn that. So make sure you network. And when you're networking, you know, make sure that it's a good two-way relationship. We're not just taking from somebody. We're not just slyly trying to get our way in there so we can ask for a job. No, you genuinely want to get to know this person, know about their job. And, you know, even though as a student, might not be a lot that you can do for them, you know, saying thank you, writing a handwritten note after you talk, being genuinely thankful. And if you're going to take them out for coffee or lunch, you need to pay for the coffee or lunch, right? So, you know, those things go a really long way. Okay, so matching your strengths to the job, networking. And then the third thing, which is also really, really important, is experience. You know, unfortunately, even entry-level jobs right now in sport want you to have 2, 3, 5 years experience. I don't think that's necessarily right. If you gave me somebody who's a real go-getter and I can train, I would rather hire them as opposed to somebody who has a lot of experience, but, you know, bounces around from job to job and isn't very reliable. However, so we can't change that, but what we can do is get that experience while you're in college. So do more than one internship. Do an internship every year. Volunteering is not a dirty word. Volunteering is an amazing way to get some experience, and that counts. Put that on your resume. And then part-time jobs as well. You know, when you're going back home for the summer, do you have maybe a minor league team that's looking for some help, maybe ushering or working, you know, the fast pitch game or, you know, clean up, food and beverage, whatever it is. There's no job that's too small, because what happens is that you get in there, you work hard, you show that you're dependable, and then you're going to start to be able to network with those people in that job that you want eventually. So match your job to your strength, network, get experience. You do those three things, you have an excellent chance of landing that job that you want out of college. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out by email or leave us a comment below. Good luck.